In this video, I'm going to tell you why EA Sports dropping and shit-canning WRC could actually be a really positive thing for fans of rally simulators and realistic rally games. Click the like button, subscribe so you have the power to unsubscribe and cry yourself to sleep every night. So if you haven't seen it, they did a development post on the WRC website, and it's basically confirming in very good positive spin that EA Sports WRC has been an abject failure, and EA have once again taken an established intellectual property, an established developer, and completely failed to capitalise on that intellectual property and the foundations. EA seem to be really good at doing that. Good job, EA. As a result, EA are no longer doing WRC. Now, we don't know if EA are holding onto the WRC licence and storing it in a garage with cobwebs all over it for it to never be seen again. It's possible because EA are EA. Or maybe the WRC licence will fall and someone else will be able to pick it up, or maybe EA will just sell the rights if they've still got the time on it. Who knows? But the thing is, EA WRC, I think when it launched was a total mess, had fundamental structural issues with it, and I think that's really what caused the downfall of the title. It just wasn't a solid base, which you need to have a solid base when it comes to a rally simulator, because you know, it's like a train sim or a flight sim. the driving against the track, you can't just have random stutter and stupid interfaces and clutter and noise. It has to just work, like Dirt Rally did. So I think all that was the real downfall of it. To be fair, they did do a really good job of polishing it up, and I think the actual people working on WRC were really working hard on it. So big credit to the actual people on the ground with WRC putting the actual effort into it, because I don't think it was a huge team, and I think they will have worked really, really hard. So it's important with these things to not be bitter at the actual people doing the work, just be bitter at the people with all the pound dollar notes flying around. But so WRC, by the last update, was actually not a particularly bad game, to be honest. So it's also kind of weird that they've shit-canned the game now when they're probably in a position to actually do another title, but deliver on the polished foundation and just keep putting content in it, which is a way that rally games are sort of more of a long form type of game, a long form monetization. I don't think they fit into the framework of yearly or bi-yearly releases. I think it's a different kind of approach that you need for rally games. But WRC was in a good position now. It's not a bad game now, and you can buy it on Steam and play it and have a fun time. And most people I know that play it regularly do actually quite enjoy it. So this is kind of bizarre that they've decided to shit-can it fully. But now that this is shit-canned, as I say, the positives are you still have Richard Burns Rally chooching along. Came out in 2007. Richard Burns Rally has all the mod tracks, there's constant development for it, and it's got great content in it. Still regarded as one of the more realistic rally simulators out there. Not perfect, nothing is, but you've always got Richard Burns Rally to go to. You also, at this point in time, BeamNG Rally is developing constantly and really good, and also a much better framework, I think, for a rally game. Again, a much better framework for people to do mods and content. I think EA kind of missed this and don't fully understand it within the structure that they had. A large part of rally is the grass, the trees. It's the grass and the trees. It's not the cars. No one cares about the cars. It's the stages is the big part of rally. That is 50-50 split, really. Probably actually 80-20, 20-20 T-slot sim rig split. It's a split between the cars and the track, and really, it's weird that the EA didn't seem to identify that. I know they're tied into WRC license if you do a WRC game, and tracks are hard to make, but then you think, well, maybe we need to think of a solution to that. Anyway, something like BeamNG allows people to make lots of tracks and lots of track content, and that's really enjoyable, really much more open platform. So you've got RBR, BeamNG, and I do think with EA no longer having this license, you actually have the opportunity again for people like Nacon to come in, or other publishers, other developers that would otherwise be doing different games to then again actually work on a rally title. Now, I know the previous Nacon WRC games. Correct me if it's a different publisher. I think it's Nacon. Probably saying the publisher name wrong. But I know their previous rally games weren't the best rally games, but their stages were amazing and they were quite drivable, even if they did have the Niels Housingveld throttle issue. They were quite drivable and fun to play. I really enjoyed them, and I really enjoyed the actual single-player structure and presentation of the previous WRC games. Again, that's something that EA really completely messed up. The whole single-player was just a chore, a grind. So it's quite possible that now, with this no longer being an EA WRC license, if it goes to someone else, it's quite possible that you could get a Nacon developer coming in and producing a WRC single-player type experience and doing what they do with it, and then probably doing a better job than EA would do, or especially judging by what happened with WRC. I think it's fair to say that maybe the physics were worse, maybe other aspects of it are worse, but generally as a video game to buy and play through a single-player WRC experience, I think Nacon, by their 8th game, the last 3 WRCs they did were actually really quite decent games, to be honest, especially for value for money. So I don't think it's the end of the world, EA losing this license. I just think it's such a shame, and also I think this whole thing represents a kind of, you know, it's EA buys Codemasters, buys a developer, buys intellectual property, and then just sort of doesn't understand the culture really, doesn't understand what the player base actually wants, or if they do, and there will be staff on EA that worked on WRC that do understand what the players want. Where they do understand it, they're not given the freedom to be able to actually deliver what the user base wants. And interestingly, I think this is a really common pattern, particularly not just with EA buying studios and big publishers buying studios, but with rally games. I think it's a genre and type of game where a publisher or a larger developer has to allow the dev team, they have to trust the dev team and allow the dev team to have freedom to do what they know is culturally right. And I think rally is such a niche and so specific, and rally games as well on top of rally, that you really need to allow the people that do understand it the freedom to actually execute on what they know to be right. And you can't, if the moment you start diluting that vision to try and accommodate some like corporate view of what the general public want, or some like marketeers view, you actually very quickly with rally titles destroy the essence and core and point of what makes it a rally title and why people are playing a rally title in the first place. You know, so, and you saw this with the code, but with Dirt Rally, the reason Dirt Rally happened was because Codemasters allowed a group of their developers to basically do the game without micromanaging them too much, and that is what produced that valuable IP. And then Dirt Rally 2 was a dilution of that proper core vision. And then WRC, again, it's a further dilution, it's a further tick box exercise, it loses the spark and the essence and the joy and the point. So yeah, the thing with this is, I think this could, weirdly, the destruction of EA WRC could open the door for maybe indie rally game development, more focus on BeamNG and other rally titles, and maybe some other future developer doing a WRC title. So at the end of the day, the less things that EA touches, the better in some ways. Naively, I'm hoping that Battlefield's good, and maybe they put all these developers on Battlefield, so we'll have some nice rally driving in the next Battlefield game. After this video, though, I don't think I'm even going to get invited to any Battlefield stuff or even get a free key. God damn, why do I have to be critical? I'm such a bad influencer. But my hope would be that Battlefield has good grass and good rally cars, and that will all be because of these developers going on to the new Battlefield. But there you go, guys. That's my positive spin following on from EA's positive spin. Let me know what you guys think in the comments to this. If you've got any positive views on it, if you think this is just yet more misery in the rally space, I really need to make another dedicated video on how on earth do developers not understand Rally, and how on earth do publishers and developers not capitalise on the potential of... You could very efficiently make a Rally game that you could monetize for a long period of time and grow an audience for, in the same way that iRacing has, or the same way that Train Sim has. Rally is perfect for that, and it's not necessarily the hardest of games in terms of size and scale to develop and build up, because it's a car versus a track fundamentally. I don't understand why publishers and developers haven't got that yet. So that again is why I'm optimistic for an indie title to actually pull it off. Anyway, let me know in the comments, guys, before I have an aneurysm. Subscribe if you have nothing better to do, and to have the power to unsubscribe, click the like button. But until the next one, happy tea drinking. Thanks for watching. Take care and goodbye.